Hey everyone, welcome to the Healthy Teams Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Erickson, and this is the show where we'll dive into real stories behind thriving workplace cultures, exploring everything from wellness and morale to leadership and productivity. Today, I am thrilled to welcome Lacee Workman, CEO of Prime Accounting and Tax. And Lacee has a tremendous professional background in accounting, finance, HR management, and I am very stoked to hear your thoughts, Lacee, about building healthy, high-performing teams today. Lacee, welcome to the show.
Great. Thank you for having me, Mark.
Oh, you're so welcome. Lacee, let's kick things off by having you tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, and the kind of work that you and your team do at Prime Accounting and Tax.
Yeah. So I'm kind of what you would call a serialpreneur. I have owned many businesses over the years, and I finally found one that I just absolutely love and cannot put down. So my background has always been in business, many different types of businesses. I got my bachelor's degree in general business, and then I got my master's degree in HR management. But in all the HR roles I had in the corporate world, accounting was always there. It either fell in my lap or I was the backup to the accounting department at all these companies. And while in Denver, I worked for a large medical group, and they went through some massive business changes and layoffs. And I found myself with a decision. Do I want to go work for somebody else, or do I want to start my own firm and help more businesses with my own firm? So I started my own firm in 2018. And back then I couldn't decide, do I want to offer accounting or HR? And so I did both. I called it Prime Accounting and HR, but after 8 years, it's really turned into accounting and tax more so than HR. So I love life. I'm being able to balance work and family well. My firm has always been a virtual remote firm, and we serve any type of business client, helping them with their accounting and tax needs, primarily service-based industries, a lot of construction clients or nonprofits we're helping. Those tend to be more challenging in the accounting space because they need cost accounting done, accrual accounting done, tracking liabilities and assets more thoroughly. So, yeah, we tend to navigate to the more difficult clients, but that's what we love. We love solving problems. So, and then over time, I really got involved in tax planning. So I'm a strategic tax planner, helping business clients and business owners essentially reduce their income taxes with both personal and business strategies.
Well, that's awesome. And certainly that's got appeal, I would think, to all business owners. I don't know anybody who thinks that they don't pay enough taxes.
Yeah, that's right.
So, Lacee, that's really interesting that you've been kind of virtual from the onset. Do you have any traditions or rituals for your team that others might find surprising or inspiring?
Well, even though we're a virtual remote team, I still obviously try to do, business in traditional ways when I can for consistency reasons, but it does have to be a bit different, right? I mean, you do have to find employees that are completely okay with that remote atmosphere. There's some people that just really like the direct interaction with people, and I get it. I mean, I thrive in those environments too. I remember when we were working like a hybrid type of environment. Some days you're in the office, some days you're at your home office. And I just remember loving the interaction when I was in office and seeing people face to face. So we just do our best. We have a lot of Zoom meetings. We always encourage everybody to have their camera on so we can, be more interactive with them. And it just feels more personable that way. So we like to do the Zoom meetings. Me and my team, we use Slack for our internal communication mostly, which is just like Zoom, but a different platform. And so we chat and we can call each other. We can record videos. It's kind of fun. We like using Slack.
Yeah, Slack's a great tool for sure. Lacey, how do you identify and nurture leadership within your team? And I would think, maybe in your industry that might be somewhat challenging, particularly if you have any employees who might have quieter voices.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Well, I have found that I really like to explore everyone's skill set and knowledge because obviously, if I'm doing my job well, I'm placing them with the right type of clients or the right type of project based on their skills and knowledge. Um, and so, I mean, me as a leader, I just have to really know my team members, know what they like to work on, and know their strengths and weaknesses. Um, and I think these people, I mean, ultimately they like to do good work, right? So if you put them in the right position or assign them to the right project or client, they're going to shine. Um, and if you put them in the wrong place, you're going to find out pretty quickly that it might not be a good fit.
Right, right. So I know you mentioned that you use Slack, but are there any other tools that your team uses to stay meaningfully connected, even, during really busy, stressful times? Like I can't imagine how busy you guys are around tax time, as an example.
Yeah, it can get pretty stressful around tax time. Slack is where we do most of our internal communications, but we also have a client portal that we can communicate through that client portal as well, and like internally and externally with the clients. So it does all things. It connects to the accounting system to handle transaction communication, but also document communication, task management and assignments, tracking that. If we're all on top of that and we know what has been assigned to us and what the due dates are, it really helps us, come together as a good team to make sure that nobody's missing anything. Or, hey, I noticed you got some past due tasks. How can I help you? So, yeah, our client portal is a huge, huge tool for us to be able to, um, you know, meet the client's goals and help others.
Excellent, excellent. Have you tried anything unconventional to build team trust
So,
or transparency? And
out,
then the follow-up question is, did it work?
oh man, I will definitely have to let you know once I start doing more. I haven't yet just because I brought it up with my team, but it was back then, it was only a team of two. And they weren't really excited about doing some of these extracurricular activities. Like there's virtual escape rooms that you can do together. And I totally want to try that.
Cool.
Um, or there's just like, online, team building games, and there's all kinds of things you could do, right? Like you can almost replicate anything in person online anymore, especially with the video chats. I mean, I've been a part of groups where they have sent out bottles of wine. And you've done a wine tasting virtually with
How
a,
fun.
yeah. So I definitely want to start trying some of those things. I'm now up to 4 team members, so I think we have a good sized group where it'd be more fun. Unfortunately, the first 2 team members I had, they just didn't really care for that type of thing. So I said, well, if it seems more of a bother to you, I won't do it. But now I've got more team members and I think they're excited about trying some things like that.
That's neat. Thank you. Um, what does wellness mean at your company beyond, physical health?
Okay. Well, I would say Wellness is important, just like productivity is important, right? So, yes, productivity is super important, but I wouldn't have that if I didn't have the wellness piece, tuned in. So, wellness to me is making sure that my employees have a good work-life balance. So, I always offer a flexible schedule, and I never ask for overtime. I'm not like a traditional accounting firm in that sense. There's a lot of CPAs and accountants that get burned out in this industry because of the busy season. There's no real like busy season in terms of hours with us. Like even in the busy season, only everybody is required to work 40 hours and that's it. And I rarely ask anybody to work past 40 hours. And even if they do, they get overtime. Even though like my people are salary, they still get the benefits of work putting in that extra time. So I reward them well, but I make sure I give them flexible working hours. I understand that we all have personal lives and things, we have to take care of things outside of work, sometimes during business hours, and that's totally understandable. So as long as I know that you're getting your work tasks done, I don't micromanage, I'm also doing like self-care days to where like once a quarter, each employee will have the option to get a day at the spa paid for that's treating themselves. Because I went to the spa one day, had a massage and a facial, and I remember leaving that place so refreshed and recharged. And I'm like, I need all of my employees to feel this. So once a quarter, everybody will get a paid spa day or whatever works well for them to recharge. You know what I mean? So I think that works really well. And then honestly, just helping where I can. I'm a big advocate of technology. And these days, if you can automate admin tasks, so we're not spending energy on simple things like that, I'm all about innovating and developing. So we're not spending our precious time on simple admin things. We should be focused on the client.
Oh, that's fantastic. Those are terrific ideas. Love the spa day, especially. That's really neat. And I'm sure that your team members really appreciate that you have that work-life balance in mind for them. And I would imagine that's got to be pretty unusual in your industry.
I would say so. I mean, this day and age, there's a lot of new firms popping up, and they're more and more non-traditional, I would say. So I'm hearing of it more often. But those big firms, they're really deep rooted in old traditional ways, and it's hard to break them out of that mold. And I think that's why more and more people, if they really would give a small firm a chance, they'd be happier.
Yeah, there's a saying that, big ships turn very slowly.
Yeah.
And that's one of the great things about smaller firms is, we can be so much more agile
Yes.
and adapt to changes so much more quickly than the big firms can.
Yeah.
Now, Lacey, you mentioned productivity earlier.
Mhm.
Could you mention any shift that you may have made that significantly boosted team productivity? And I know you're trying not to burn people out. So how have you leveraged technology as an example to significantly boost team productivity?
Yeah, I think our client portal or task management system is a key player in that. It definitely helps us stay up to date with statuses of projects and tasks. Um, I mean, just the stress of not knowing what's going on with the project is pretty heavy. And so anybody in our firm can open up the task management system and see where things are. I mean, that's a huge peace of mind for me, obviously, as the firm owner, to make sure nobody's really falling behind. Because I understand how hard it is for somebody to reach out and say, I'm behind, right? Like that is hard for a human to admit. But I need to know so I can help if that happens. So that's a key reason why I have the client portal and the task management system for that reason. But yeah, technology does play a huge role in productivity for us. I think honestly, with AI these days, we use it for a lot of research. I mean, you used to have to just Google something if you didn't know, or go look up on the IRS website what an update is or what the tax code is for XYZ. And honestly, I still prefer the IRS source for that information. But, AI helps us get to the answer faster. It will help us research, so we're not spending so much time on non-client or non-billable work or tasks.
That makes good sense. Lacey, how do you measure success on your team beyond just the numbers?
Yeah. So I would say, I mean, I'm a big numbers person, obviously, and I like metrics, and I like being able to measure everything and see how things are running month over month. But for me, success means that we're keeping our clients happy and the staff are happy too. That's ultimately what success is. But more so, like, in our line of work, it's very hard to show a client, let's say we do their monthly bookkeeping and their payroll and their financial reports and their sales tax filings from every month, kind of a basic monthly package that we would do for some business owners. There's not like a real delivery that the client would get besides just saying, hey, we got all this done this month for you. Like most small business owners don't like see a set of financials every month or have to present it to a board or anything like that. So we're constantly trying to show them the value of our services every month, because I don't want them to feel like we're just a draw on them or a cost to them. I need them to understand what we're doing is important for their business. So I like when I have my CFO calls with my clients, because that's where we really dig in deeper to their financial reports and figure out what story it's telling them, right? It's either a good outcome or maybe a bad outcome, or maybe it's telling us a story that you're going to have a problem in 3 months if we don't fix something soon. So I like having the CFO calls with the clients. I think they instantly get the value and see how much of an impact we're making for them. And back to the productivity question, I'm all about metrics, right? And sometimes it's hard to measure metrics when, like with our staff, we're working on so many different types of clients. Some clients we have to put more hours into than others, depending on what tasks we're doing for them or how many transactions they have each month. But at the end of the day, I don't want to overstaff them. I want to make sure that they aren't at 80% capacity or more, because we're always going to need more time out of them. And if that new project or that new customer comes in for the month, I want to be able to comfortably assign that to somebody and not say, okay, you're already at 100%. Can you squeeze this one more on top? Like that just won't feel good, right? And that's not good customer experience either, most likely. So I have to be able to take my staff's tasks and times and turn it into metrics so I can figure out who's at capacity, who's over, and who's under, so I can assign the next client to them.
That makes sense. Lacey, I'm kind of curious. You have this extensive background in HR,
Mhm.
and I was just wondering, and I know your business is really more focused on accounting and finance, but could you share with us a little bit about how that background in HR has really influenced how you've shaped your own business from a wellness perspective?
Yeah. I'm very thankful I have that HR background. And I'm glad that I have those HR skills when I started my firm, and it's not something that I had to learn as I grew this business. Because, the employees are a lot like my backbone of my business. Like if I don't have my employees, I would eventually lose my clients, right? I'm one person, I can't do it all. And I don't want to have to turn away my clients. I want to help more. So it's always been a goal to find more like-minded accountants like me who want to help businesses like I am. But yeah, just knowing how to be a good listener, that's a good skill in HR. When someone talks, they really want to know that someone's listening and making them feel heard. They might have a frustration about something. We know in the accounting industry, things don't go right. Sometimes it's usually a software fail or a tool that's broken that makes now everything harder for us to do. So yeah, we have a lot of vent sessions, but at the end of the day, we know that we ultimately have to just solve the problem. And so we're always just being proactive about, be positive and how are we going to fix it. I have had employees in the past that tend to dwell on the negative and didn't want to get out of that negativity, and weren't really in a mindset to problem solve. And that doesn't work well in my environment because we need to problem solve and we have to be able to figure out a way out. I could work with about any personality, to be honest. Some are easier than others, but I prefer to have people on my team that are positive, can always see the bright side of something, and just at the end of the day, want to solve a problem.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I'm the exact same way. I'm very much focused on solutions, and I've also had the experience where I've worked with people that would really kind of lock into the problem and just want to vent and vent and vent. And, it's important that they do feel heard, but we also have to move past that and figure out how do we get from point A to point B. Because
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
end of the day, that's what your clients want, right?
Yep. I mean, those type of situations are helpful and useful, even though it may be a bad experience and a difficult time. But it's really going to show our clients how we can help them overcome a problem if we are going to be the hero at the end of the day that solves the problem.
So, Lacey, can you think of anything that maybe your team stopped doing that actually made everything better?
Well, I think just the one example that's coming to my mind is, and this, I'm guilty of this. I used to be a sticky note person, right? Like I need to write down my to-dos on a sticky note. I need to write down my reminders on a piece of paper. Like writing it down to me felt organized, and now I'm not going to lose that, and I'm going to get to that when I have time, or I'm not going to forget about it. But that was holding me back. Like especially with my virtual firm, I had to use me as an example to show my employees this is not the way to do things. Like we have to put everything online in our task management or our client portal. And that's where you track your to-dos or your reminders. Use your calendar, use your email, whatever method works for you. In Slack, I love that there's a to-do list that you can create and just constantly and treat it like a checkbox and then check them off as you get done. Yeah, my to-do list never gets smaller. It just seems to get bigger and bigger. But it's still a challenge. Like it is really hard some days to not pick up that pen and piece of paper and write down my notes or the things that are top of mind when I first get to the office. What do I want to get done today? Yeah, it's a challenge still for me today. But it's a game changer. If you can really put everything digitally, because we're a virtual firm, it's much, much better.
I totally agree. That's something I've been working with my own team on actually as well. So Lacey, what's the best piece of team building advice that you've ever received or perhaps ignored?
Well, I think sometimes you can get pleasant surprises out of gathering people, whether it's virtually or in person, and pairing up people that don't seem like the likely pair, I think you can get some nice surprises out of that. And of course, those people will benefit from it too. When humans tend to navigate or get drawn in by similar personalities or interests, and I really like seeing the connections that are made with the unlikely pairs. Recently I've been doing some online virtual networking events, and I love when they have the breakout sessions. They'll randomly throw 3 or 4 people in a room together, and you're forced to, talk with them all, whether it's work or personal. But I love the variety of conversations and surprising connections you can make and learn from people.
I couldn't agree more. It's just so valuable to get different perspectives by putting together some people that may not have naturally come together on their own.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Is there anything that might surprise people about how your team works together behind the scenes?
Well, I would say most of us, I assign work and projects to each person, and we don't have a big opportunity to work on projects together. Unless it's like a really big project and they're probably working with me. I don't have a lot of large projects where I'm putting 2 staff members on it. I can't think of any example. I mean, I guess sometimes, a handoff between a bookkeeper to the tax preparer, there's always that interaction of them working together to, because the tax preparer can't start until the bookkeeper finishes and closes, right? And does the final review. And I think it's stressful for both because they want to be respectful, but they want to, the CPA or the tax preparer wants to get started, but they don't want to stress out the bookkeeper, and they don't want to be rude about, when is this going to be done? I need to get this done myself. So they have to work with each other when it comes to that. That's why I just always set like goals and due dates, and everybody kind of knows what the estimated due date of this project is, so the next person has an estimated start date. That works the best, I think, in our line of work. And of course, we have to stay on top of those due dates so we could give an update to the client. It's not a good situation when it's tax day and the client has no idea if we're getting it done or not.
Right. Yeah. So, Lacey, if this one's going to be kind of a fun question, I hope. If you could take your whole team on a retreat somewhere in Colorado tomorrow, where would you go and why? Why would you pick that?
Wow, that's a tough one.
It is kind of hard. There's so many great options,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Right.
Oh man, it's so tough to choose. And I'm sure there's things and places that I don't even know about that I would probably consider. So for me and my team, I would really like to take them to a place that is relaxing, because our line of work can be stressful and boring in front of a computer, right? So we'd probably be outdoors, relaxing. I don't know exactly where that would be. It's so tough. I don't know, but I'd also want to take them to a place that they haven't been before or haven't had the opportunity to go. I have some employees in Colorado, but I have some employees in other states like Alabama and Nebraska. So it would be an adventure for sure to have us all get together and do a retreat.
Yeah, that'd be so much fun. And it truly, I mean, it's a really hard question because Colorado just
I
has
know, right?
so many, wonderful
Yeah, like
outdoor options that you could take people to.
right? And then it's like what season seems like because there's the mountains
You know?
and the mountains are beautiful in the summer and the winter. Like how do you choose?
Yeah, exactly. Well, this has been such a great conversation. Thank you again, Lacey, for joining us and sharing your insights on building healthy teams. Before we wrap up, can you let our listeners know where they can find you and learn more about Prime Accounting and Tax?
Yeah, you bet. So obviously we have a website, www.primeaccountingtax.com. We're also on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and be on the lookout for our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel will start this year and it's going to have all kinds of helpful videos to navigate your business.
Awesome. Thanks for that. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning into the Healthy Team podcast. And if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to like and subscribe and share it with your team or anyone who's passionate about great workplace culture. And we'll be back soon with more conversations to help you build stronger, healthier teams. And until next time, stay well and lead well.